Welcome back to the C tutorial series. I'm so glad you're here. Today we will learn about while loops, specifically while loops, do while loops, and break and continue. So let's get started. I created a file called while.c, and inside the main function we're going to create a while loop. So you may be asking, what is a while loop? A while loop repeats a condition until something is false. So in a while loop you need three things. First, you need an initial condition, and our initial condition will be a variable called I, and we'll set that equal to 1. Then we need to loop over something. So we'll say while I is less than or equal to 5. So this will loop every single time. And finally, we need to increment it so that it will exit the while loop. So I'll just say I plus plus. This is the same thing as I equals I plus 1. And inside the while loop, I'm going to do something, so I'm going to print whatever the value of I is. So I'll print it as an integer and have a new line character after that. As you see here, it accomplishes all three things. We have an initial condition, we loop, and we increment. And then when I'm outside of the while loop, I want to print we are finished with the loop. Now let's run this and see what happens. It runs and prints 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we are finished with the loop. So let's walk through this. We have a number equal to 1. 1's less than 5. It enters the while loop. It prints 1. It now increments to 2. 2's less than 5. Prints 2. Increments to 3. 3 is less than 5. Prints 3. 4. 4 is less than or equal to 5. Prints 4. 5. 5's less than or equal to 5. Prints 5. 6. 6 is not less than or equal to 5, so it exits the while loop. And this is how to create a while loop in C. Now let's go over do while. If we change the while condition to while I is less than or equal to 0, this will never run, because 1 is greater than 0. However, if we want to guarantee that it will run at least once, we can create a do while statement. So all we do is put do at the top and then while I is less than or equal to 0 at the bottom. So I equals 1, it's going to do this, so it's going to print 1, then it's going to check if I is less than or equal to 0, which it's not, so it's then going to break out of this. So let's run this, and as you see here, it successfully prints out 1, then we are finished with the loop. So that is a do while loop in C. Now let's introduce break and continue, and I'm going to copy the original while loop, and break and continue will build off this. So let's say we want to increment like before till it's less than or equal to 5. However, we want to exit the while loop if I is ever equal to 3. We can do this by saying if I is equal to 3, break. So this will break out of the while loop. Now let's run this, and it prints 1, 2, and we are finished with the loop, because I is equal to 3, so it breaks out, so it doesn't continue anything after that. However, what if we want to just skip over 3, but continue with 4 and 5? We could switch this break statement for a continue statement. So it outputs 1, 2, and you would think 4 and 5. But look, this continue is before the increment. So we need to increment it in all cases. So I'm going to say I plus plus here and continue. So now when I run this, it correctly outputs 1, 2, 4, and 5. And this is break and continue in C, and now you have an overview of while, do while, and break and continue statements in C. Next, we will introduce for loops in our C program. Make sure to follow along with this video series by subscribing and hitting the notification bell, or by clicking on the next video so that you can expand your knowledge about C. Thank you so much, and as always, I can't wait to see you next time.